Welcome to Nation in Conversation. Now we have the Departments of Land Reform, Agriculture and Rural Development as one. Leona, welcome.
Thank you.
The fact that these three departments have been amalgamated into one, is it the right thing?
I do believe, Theo, that it is the right thing. I think that the interrelatedness between the work of those three components actually requires them to be under one minister. It has been tried before when it was land affairs and agriculture. Obviously, rural development as a new mandate only came in 2009. But land reform without agriculture cannot succeed. Rural development, agriculture is a key catalyst for rural development to happen. So I believe that this is the right decision to put them under one ministry.
Every time when one changes departments and ministries, it takes a while to sort out the internal restructuring. How long do you think it will take before we start to see the benefits?
Well, obviously, there has to be a lot of alignment between the departments right now, and both of them having their own infrastructure. But I think that in the past, the way it has happened is that the DGs have remained separate. So that allows the amalgamation process to go much quicker. But the President, having indicated that he wants not only a leaner cabinet, but a leaner administration, may actually find that at the administrative level, a lot of the functions will have to be combined. So I believe it will take probably another 6 months or so for everything to function smoothly. But the good thing is that these departments have been working closely as far as the key programs and policies. So I don't believe it'll take very long for them to begin to work much more smoothly with each other. Let's
look at the outputs and let's look at the opportunities. How do you see the outputs and opportunities develop?
Well, I think for one, the technical skills for agriculture sits within the Department of Agriculture. But land reform and rural development, being so reliant on agriculture, would need those technical skills. So I think the output you're going to find is that you'll find land reform farms becoming much more productive if we can develop a joint model for the two to come together. You're also going to find rural development beginning to grow in terms of the economy of that space, with productivity of the areas beginning to rise. And I think the inclusion, obviously, of agriculture means the commodity sectors and all the expertise that comes under that will then be directly attached within the land reform program.
Now, part of that is funding, the role and mandate of the land bank.
Well, the land bank is supposed to be playing the financing part in that whole party of land reform, rural development and agriculture. In the earlier years, we have not really succeeded in finding a model that lets the skills or the strengths of each one play to the other. We tried the land redistribution for agricultural development program, which brought land reform and agriculture together with the land bank, and that was earlier, much earlier, and under Minister Togo Didiza as well. So interesting, I think we'll probably find similar models where the financing arm of Land Bank would have to support those two programs. But I think the infrastructure within Land Bank would have to obviously be elevated to match the needs of both land reform and agriculture.
You talked about Minister Togo Didiza. Do we have the right minister?
Absolutely. I think Minister Didiza is the right person for the job. She has always had the sector behind her when she was previously the minister. She understands both land and agriculture, and I think you're going to see some good things coming out from that sector in the future.
In the past, people talked about the lack of trust between government, private capital, commercial farmers. Are we going to get closer to working together?
Well, I think over the past few years, a lot of goodwill has been emerging within the sector. I think commercial farmers, commodity organizations, land reform beneficiaries and government realize that everyone has to work together to drive the sector forward. I think Minister Didiza actually can play that role very well. She has good relationships with the commercial farming sector, with the agricultural unions, and she understands fully what is needed in the land reform program for it to succeed. So I really think there'll be a much more closer working relationship going forward.
Thanks, Leona. Well, on that positive point, it's nice to have a senior minister involved in this challenge. If we get agriculture right, if we get land reform right, we'll get South Africa right. From me, Theo Foster, good day.
Nation in Conversation, in collaboration with ENCA, moving the needle on the agriculture debate, in proud partnership with Senves, Bayer, Engen, Nedbank, Agri, Grain SA and John Deere, in association with Hinterland and